Bruno Silva and Gerald Meerschaert here. Now, if you look at Bruno's record, you will see that he was on a fantastic win streak dating back from 2017 up until March of this year, where he lost to Alex Pereira, who is now fighting for the middleweight belt against Israel Adesanya. So his only loss in recent history is to the person fighting for the title, which that's not bad. And I'm sure most of us remember Gerald for being on the highlight of Khamzat Chimaev, who, surprisingly, that fight was 2 years ago. He was on a 3-fight win streak after he got beat by Khamzat, and then he lost to Krzysztof Jotko. Well, for this fight, in order for Gerald to win, he needs to get the fight to the ground and use his jiu-jitsu. But the thing is, a lot of times he finds trouble winning off of his back. With a lot of jiu-jitsu nowadays, we find that in order for the person to be able to use the jiu-jitsu effectively, they need to be able to control how the fight got to the ground. So it's not just enough to have jiu-jitsu. You do need to have the wrestling as well, or at least some type of grappling advantage to get the fight to the ground on your terms, because when you have the jiu-jitsu but you're on your back and you're hunting arm bars and triangles and things that people can see happening a mile away, a lot of times fighters don't really get those. And on top of that, you're losing the fight because you're on your back. So he needs to get this fight to the ground. Bruno, he is a knockout guy. Now, he wants to keep the fight standing up. He has power in both hands. He can get it done. He can even win from the guard. Like, he can get you on your back, and he can drop some ground and pound. We saw him do that against, what's my guy's name? Wellington Turman. He was able to get a finish like that. So, and we see that out of his 22 wins, 19 of them are by knockout. So Gerald needs to get this fight to the ground as fast as possible, but he has to be careful, because we've seen people in the clinch with Bruno and they were hunting a takedown or trying to initiate a grappling exchange. But even in the clinch, Bruno is very dangerous with the dirty boxing. He's very dangerous with the elbows, very dangerous with the knees. That's how he was able to catch Jordan Wright. Jordan was winning that fight, and then he got lazy in the clinch up against the fence, and that led to him being finished. So Gerald is going to have to start off with a good pace. He's going to have to manage the distance, but he's going to have to try to get the fight to the ground, because we know he has fantastic submissions. But unfortunately, he himself is also prone to submissions. But I will give the ground game advantage to him, just because he can win fights and lose fights equally by submission. Meanwhile, Bruno, even though the losses were back in the day, he does have a lot of submission losses, but he does not have any wins by submission. So he does not want anything to do with the ground here at all. Like, he don't even want to take the chance on taking you to the ground so he can get the submission. He just don't want no parts of it. And when your opponent doesn't want anything to do with one particular area of the ground and you have an advantage there, you have to try to get the fight there. I'm looking for Gerald to try to get the fight to the ground. I don't think he will be able to do that, because Bruno's takedown defense is good enough for Gerald, because he's not a wrestler. And also, he's got that power that Gerald has to be watching out for. I'm expecting Bruno to get the TKO within the second round.